Alright, I think this is like the 6th week of me doing these videos. And the video or a topic I would like to touch on today would be body goals and knowing your body goals. All workouts and just working out in general, fitness isn't created equal. Like, we don't all come in here, a lot of us come in here and we do the same things to pretty much achieve our goals. But even if we do the same things, don't mean that we're going to approach it in the same exact way. For instance, you got Olympic weightlifters that deadlift, and they practice deadlifts to help them get better with their hang cleans or their clean and jerks and things like that, and it may look like a cheat rep to a power lifter who's deadlifting, they're trying to explode and they're holding the bar a little bit closer to them and things like that. Or you might got a power lifter, they'll look at how like a CrossFitter would do a deadlift or do like a certain move and be like, it doesn't look the exact same as ours. It's different techniques for different modalities and all kinds of different schools of thought. So even with us doing the same exact things, we don't always have the same exact goals, and we don't always go about them in the same exact ways. So if you're the average Joe, like me or like anyone else, getting in shape, you still have to factor those things in, and you have to factor what it is. Like, what sort of look are you going for? You know, because you could do like bench press, you can deadlift, you can clean, heavy shoulder press, and still look different from the guy next to you, and he's doing the exact same thing. So not only know your goals in terms of what you want to do to get you where you're at, but know what it is that you're doing, how to get you there, and what's the best way to get there based on your look. Because you got a lot of people in here that wanna like tone or build muscle endurance. Let's say that you got a lot of people that want to do muscle endurance, but yet they'll do like a 5x5 program. Well, a 5x5 program isn't going to get you muscle endurance. Or you got a person that want to build power, but they're doing 3x12. 3x12 can build you power, but again, that's more for muscle endurance and things of that nature. You got somebody telling me that they want to look like a CrossFitter, but they do more cross country in terms of how much cardio that they do. Like, every time you see them in here, they're on the treadmill and they're hitting the mile, but they want to look like Rich Froning or they want to look like Dan Bailey. How? You're not training in a way that's conducive for you to look like your version of those guys. You know? Me, for instance, people will look at me and I go to the gym every day and they'll be like, well, why aren't you super duper ripped? Or why don't you have super duper big muscles? Simple answer, I don't bodybuild. Little bit information. Bodybuilding. When you bodybuild, you're not focused on anything but tension, and that sort of tension, you really concentrating on your reps, you kind of being one with the reps. You're worried about getting the muscle bigger. And just because they're bigger or just because you're ripped doesn't necessarily mean that you're strong. Like, it's some bodybuilders out here, really, really big chest, really, really big arms, big legs, but when you look at their numbers, they're not out there breaking world records and everything like that, because big muscles don't always equate like a whole lot of strength. Like, yeah, there a lot of bodybuilders is probably stronger than some of the average people around here, but then some of them aren't. And then you look at a powerlifter, thicker, more dense, more compact frame and compact muscles, and you look at them, and powerlifters can probably, lift some of these bodybuilders under the table. But again, different emphasis on how they go about doing their things. Like, they could both do a bench press, but powerlifter trying to get super duper efficient with that movement. So he's worried about explosion. He's worried about speed. He's not worried about coming all the way down and all the way up. Like, nah, he's boom. The quickest point from A to B. I just seen, shout out to my man, Scott Sherman. He was talking with a bodybuilder, showing you the difference between bodybuilding and powerlifting. But not to go on too much of a tangent, how that refers to me, like I said, if I had to decide what sort of a style I train in more of a CrossFit sort of a style. So basically, or even like how Jeff Cavaliere says, train like an athlete, to borrow his motto. But yeah, I train more for performance. So I'm not the guy in the gym that wants to bench 315 pounds or 365 pounds, 400 pounds. I'm not the guy that wants to, clean 300 pounds or more. I'm not the guy that wants to squat 600 pounds or more and not have it transfer into my everyday life. Like, what the fuck is the point of me having all these big muscles and then you see me in the club? Because if you guys ever watch like shows like The Jersey Shore and things like that, or MTV True Life at the Shore, and you see these dudes, like you see Situation and all these Ronnie, it's real life guys like that get super duper big, super duper swole. However they get there, and they get super duper big, super duper swole, and they're the guys trying to, be meatheads and start fights at the club or everything like that. And then you see them get just put completely the fuck out. And it's like, what purpose did those muscles serve you if you just got put out by somebody? And sometimes it's just the most ridiculous scene ever, because you see the most regular, average Joe. He don't have no sort of muscle tone or definition, and he just put you smooth out. And it's like, how do you feel knowing that you're the biggest guy in the bar or the biggest guy in the club, and you just got put out by the smallest dude in the bar or the smallest dude in the club? So again, just like in the bodybuilding world, big muscles don't necessarily automatically transfer to strength. Gym strength and gym explosion and your abilities in the gym doesn't always transfer to everyday life. What the fuck point is it if I have super duper big muscles, but I'm tired going up on my way to the steps because I have no cardio capacity? Which a lot of these bodybuilders don't have too much cardio capacity at the end of the day, because they don't train that way. They don't train to run miles, and they don't train the marathon and things like that. So big ass muscles, but if they need it to run a mile, they probably do it in a very, very shitty time. So whatever I do, I try to make sure it translates to my everyday life. Or even, my foolish beliefs of thinking that I have some athletic ability. Like, it was good going out to play ball with my boys the other day, a couple Sundays back, and to see that, we all dads and things like that, and we're all grown. A lot of us 30 plus, and it's like, wow, still pretty fast in comparison to a lot of my friends. Maybe still pretty fast in comparison to a lot of, average people my age. Uh, that's dope to me. That's dope to still be like, all right, I can still run, I can still jump, still got enough stamina. It was hot as hell, and I'm like, yo, I can go for another one. I can go for another 3. It's good to have that ability to know that if my friends and my friends or dudes that I used to go to school with or family members, they call like, yo, you trying to go hoop, or yo man, we throwing together a family football game, and knowing that, yo, I can still, that happened too. Probably like maybe a year back, my little cousin, he was fast as hell, Amar too, and I'm like, I want my little cousin, and I don't even got on my gear. I just got on like probably like some skinny jeans and some socks, cause I couldn't run in my boots. It wasn't the jeans that was hindering me, it was the boots. So, and like I said, Amar is young and he plays football, but I could probably beat Amar in a race. Or if he was to beat me in a race, he wouldn't blow me out. And that means something coming from your little cousin that's like in his teen years and he's still very much active and he just came out of that football mode and things like that. If I was to lose by him or lose to him in a race by this much, or even win in the race, that's a feather in my cap, being a 32-year-old old ass man who's supposed to really kind of throttle down as far as athletic ability is concerned. Look at what they talk about with these athletes all the time. LeBron conserving his body, his minutes, the minutes played, and whatever. Like, why didn't the old guys do that? They can still run as fast and probably not jump as high because Father Time is undefeated. But man, once your legs is going, they're going pretty much. But cardio capacity and bursts and things like that, you don't lose it per se. You just lose it for the amount of time you can do it for in a certain event. Like Darrell Green could still. What did Darrell Green run recently in his 50s? Darrell Green ran like a 4.4. He ran like a 4.4 in his 50s. He was running like a 4.2, 4.1 in his prime, and he can still run a 4.4 in his 50s, which is really good. You're like, man, his speed declined a lot. Not really. He didn't lose too much speed. For you to lose a couple tenths of a second in a 30-year span, that's awesome. So with him still being 4.4 speed, could he still shut some of these guys down in the league? Yeah, for a player or two. But could he do that throughout the course of a whole football game? Now that's the question. So you don't have to stop being the player that you are. Allen Iverson. When I seen Allen Iverson on his way out of the league, Allen Iverson was still cat quick. Like, he was still lightning fast. But could he be lightning fast the whole game? Or could he be lightning fast throughout a course of an 82-game season? Probably not. He would have to more. That's when that mental capacity. I appreciate my brother, because Marquise Mike, we're not the young dudes anymore. We got to think the game through. And Marquise has been saying that since we've been like 24. Marquise has been saying that since we've been 24, 25. Mike, we can't run with these young guys. You got to outthink them. And me, I'm just super duper competitive. I'm going to try to outrun the young guy. Even though I know the young guy is more than likely faster than me. And even if he's not that much faster than me, he got younger legs. So he's going to get the most out of them. You can't tell my stupid ass not to run with the young guy. Like, Mike, don't try to beat him to the spot with your speed. Beat him to the spot with an angle or something. Smartest dumb person you'll ever meet in your life. Especially on like a competitive stage. Smartest dude in the world do the dumbest shit when it comes time to compete. Because it's like they're two different arenas. I want to be smart in the smart arena, but in the competitive arena, I just want to be the best. I want to be the most competitive in the competitive arena. I don't marry the two, and maybe I should. But Marquise would always talk about that. Mike, think the game through, and that's what older people should do, and older athletes. It's not they should try to give up themselves or try to not use their athletic ability and advantages to their advantage, but they should do it in spurts. They should pick their spots better. But just to go on that long ass tangent, whatever I do, I tell my girlfriend all the time, life is transferable. It's certain things and certain principles and methods that I can apply to the gym or can apply to a sport that I can apply to everyday life. And I do. Life is super transferable. But besides life being transferable, I try to make everything in life transferable. And I take that even as far as with my training. So I don't want to be the guy that's going to like lift the gym. You know, I could bench press a house. I could squat like the Empire State Building. And then when it comes time to do those things outside of the gym, it don't transfer. Like, what the fuck is the point of having a 600-pound squat? And I do. What's the point of having a 600+ pound squat or box squat, almost to parallel? What's the point of having a 400 and whatever pound squat ass to grass? What's the point of having this sort of bench press or a 41-inch box jump? What's the point of having all that shit if it doesn't translate? Like, what's the point of having that if when I play ball with my boys, I'm gassed just like them, or I'm not jumping just like them, or I'm running just as slow as them, or just as slow as any person my age or in my age group in the 30s, in the 40s, what you consider to be those sort of ranges, not being a young man anymore, or not being a super duper young man. So I try to, could I look better? Yeah, I could look a whole lot better. Like, I don't look bad to the untrained eye or to the average person. I don't look bad, but to the trained eye, I don't look too great either, because it's not the way I train. I don't train to look super duper great as much as I train to be balanced and have a combination of the things. Yeah, I want to look good. Yeah, I want to be strong. Yeah, I want my muscles to get bigger over time. But I also want to be able to function with all of these things. Because what's the point of having a big ass bicep that, you know, if babe tell me to open a pickle jar and I can't open it? But that's why you need to know what you're in the gym for. Are you in the gym to bodybuild? Because if you're in the gym to bodybuild, you can lift fucking 15-pound weights, 35-pound weights, and by the techniques that you're using, you can put enough tension on the muscle to get bigger muscles with 35s. So that's a bodybuilding strategy. Do you want to power lift? Some power lifters, more skinnier or more skinny, more compact, more muscularly dense and got compact frames, or just fat, sloppy, just out of shape sort of frames that if you look at him, you're like, well, bro, do you even lift? And it's like, yeah, he lifts. He can literally lift your fucking house, but he doesn't look aesthetic at all. But his job isn't to look aesthetic. His job is to be strong. And then you got others that are they train for performance, and i.e. a football player, a basketball player. I don't think LeBron's worried about how big his muscles are. Does he have muscles? Yes. Is he ripped? Yes. But LeBron's not trying to be ripped as much as it's a result that he's ripped because he's trying to be a better basketball player. You know, uh, these football guys. Um, Back in the day, T.O. guys like David Boston, guys like what was it, Will Demps. Um, I can't put LaRon Landry in that category. That motherfucker was trying to be big, even though he was genetically gifted, but still. But there are guys that have physiques like those guys. It was a result of their craft, them trying to get better at their craft. T.O. probably got bigger muscles to get off the jam, as much as David Boston probably got big muscles to get off the jam. Will Demps probably got big muscles to hit the shit out of somebody. I don't know why Steve Weatherford got big muscles. He was a fucking kicker. He has programs out now. Shout out to Steve Weatherford. But like, what did you do? You kick. But not to step on my point entirely with Steve Weatherford and LaRon Landry, but usually those guys, they're training for performance. They're not training to have the splits in their legs, and they're not training to have big quads and things like that. But bigger legs, bigger quads, bigger butt, bigger arms makes you faster, makes you stronger to the point where you get off of jams easier. You're throwing little ass DBs and you're becoming one of the best wide receivers ever to play the game, or you're becoming one of the best cornerbacks, etc., basketball players, whatever it is that you do, whatever your craft is. So their body is almost kind of like it's a reward based off of the results of them trying to get better at their craft. They're not necessarily going in there to bodybuild, but that's why a lot of them can transfer and graduate to bodybuilding and to other weightlifting disciplines when they transition out of the NFL. Like, that's why you see some of them linemen. Shout out Matt Burke. Matt Burke, as soon as he got done playing, I think he started like biking and things like that. Transformed his whole entire body because he's been an athlete. He's been worried about performance his whole entire life. Now his body is showing different results because he's worried about a different performance-based sort of a business. So their body is a result of performance. And you got to decide what you're building your body for. I build this thing for performance. Sure, I want to look good because I tell my girlfriend, I tell my clients all the time, the better I look, the more you motherfuckers listen. Like, you're not going to listen to me if I'm a blob. Or you're not going to listen to me if I can't tell you why I'm a blob being a physical trainer or being a personal trainer. But the better I look, if I have abs or somewhere close to it, if my six-pack is visible or somewhat visible, if I got a little bit of splits in the arms, I'm nowhere near vascular. But when I'm vascular and things like that, yeah, they start to be like, you know what, he knows what he's talking about. So, but yeah, my body, my whole goal is to be able to perform. Once upon a time I was on some let me get ab shit, just like the regular everyday person. But I finally did get abs when I chose to try to get a better squat. When I tried to build my squat up to 365 and then 405 and then so on and so on. The bigger I tried to build my squat, then that's when I got abs, when I got a goal. So even still, you train for performance, or I train for performance. That's when I got the best results. My body's built to perform. Other people try to build their body to build their body to look aesthetic and look good. And other people are just trying to be strong as fuck. Whether they look like the toothpick, whether they look like the dude who, like Bruce Lee, or whether they look like fucking an offensive lineman. Like the ones that don't get to see the field, just super duper out of shape, belly out the hair. But your look is your look. and you have to train for that sort of look. And you gotta understand which look it is that you're training for, because we all do a lot of the same stuff, but we don't all get the same results from it. So decide which look you're going for and figure out what's the best method to get there. Are you training for performance? Are you training to look good? So perform, athlete, style training. Look good, bodybuilding sort of training, or to get stronger. Powerlifting sort of a training. I don't give a fuck how my body looks as long as I get stronger. But decide your goals. And don't think because somebody looks a certain way at the gym that they're not getting good results. You don't know what they're training for. Be the person to go to them and ask them, what are you training for? And if they're telling you they train to perform and they look like shit, take them to their arena that they say they performing for. Because if they go on a basketball court and they give you buckets, Paul Pierce, Carmelo Anthony, early in his career, people often say Melo got a shitty body. Paul Pierce has a shitty body. They can give you buckets. You don't gotta look good to give a motherfucker buckets. So, don't judge a book by its cover. We're not all training to look the same. We're not all training the same ways, even if we're doing the same thing. So, figure out what's the best training method for you based off the look that you want.